Color me interested when I figured out that Shin Black was not just a rebrand of the same old ramen, but in fact a totally different flavor of the mega popular noodles. In fact, instead of simply being gourmet spicy, Shin Black is a beef ramen flavored specifically with bone broth. Considering how much I loved Shin Ramyun, I'm downright stoked to try it. There are 2 packets in the cup surrounded by a bunch of chunky vegetables, none of which I've ever voluntarily eaten, so I'ma do this before I add the powders. The yellow powder is very ambiguous. I feel like it has to be the bone broth powder, but it doesn't smell beefy and it looks like powdered mustard. In fact, it smells vaguely herbaceous and salty, and that's about it. The red powder smells like the familiar old Shin powder though, so I'm not too worried about the flavor. Add boiling water, let Mario watch over the noodles while they cook, then stir and enjoy. It smells interesting. Not super beefy, but also not super strongly of spice. There's also something funky about it, which is weird. I have my safety milk on standby, and look! I'm wearing a black shirt for once! I'm learning. The funky smell actually gets worse the closer I get to the noodles, but it's not enough to put me off my first bite, which is funky. I cannot place why this tastes so odd. It's not great and I don't really like it. It's not a weird broth taste. It's not too sour or too salty. It's not even super spicy. Truthfully, whatever it is, I don't like what I'm tasting. It's almost stale, which makes me wonder if it's not the broth at all, but the noodles that make it so unappealing. Let's try the broth. Okay, yeah, that's actually pretty delicious. For whatever reason, these noodles are foul, but the broth is actually delightful. Very tasty. For the first time in noodle show history, instead of finishing the noodles, I finished the broth. That was kind of a wild ride. I didn't expect that outcome at all, but that's what makes the noodle show beautiful, right? Until the next time I try some truly abysmal noodles, stay sweet.